ex-wife for it to zoom to 1000%. Ain't that the truth? Now, that's a scary metric that I don't know about you. I fight all the time because one thing that we don't really factor in, you see my green screen behind me, has the cat went behind it and folded it over right there. One thing you don't factor in, like if you go to a airport, anywhere where people are waiting, they're all on their phone. And it looks like one of those dystopian nightmares where it's like, meh, 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 right? But really, you have to take into consideration that the phone is so many things now. You know, like 20 years ago, 20 years? Yeah. 20 years ago, it was a book, it was a magazine, it was something else, right? But now your phone is your book, your magazine, your TV. So that's another thing. Like 20 years ago, we didn't have TVs in our hands. I remember airports having those little pay TVs where you'd sit there and there was a little screen there, and you'd, I don't know, it was by the minute or something. You'd put loonies in or dollars in, and you could watch TV. Who knows what the channel was? I never actually did it. But that's what we have now. It's this amalgamation of everything right in your hand, and it's so hard to fight it because what did you do? I guess like I see it sometimes at the squash club, where these older men, the first thing they do when they get there is read the paper. There's still papers there. Like papers are delivered to the squash club, the Winnipeg Free Press, the Winnipeg Sun, the Globe and Mail, something else maybe. And all the older men, they sit there and they'll read the paper cover to cover, like the whole thing they'll read. And then the younger guys come in and they don't even acknowledge yet know what the hell that is, a paper, right? They would never read a paper. Never. They're on their phone reading articles, right? Having like kind of the pick of the media litter, if I may be so bold. Meanwhile, the older guys are reading the paper front to back. So that's what we see in this. Now, the real tough part is the kids, because that type of seduction when it comes to your imagination and what you want to see and what you find, because really you're on an imagination hunt when you're kind of scrolling. You know, what do I want to see? No, 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 yes. And then as soon as you go yes, you get more and more and more and more and more of that. But there was another one where a friend of mine was having some troubles because his kid is entering this age where, like, it's the new sugar, really. So the screen, the tablet, whatever you want to call it, is the new sugar for kids. And why I use sugar? It's like it's a seducible leverage. So, you know, like grandma back in the day, grandma always had the sugar, you know, and so you always like grandma. You know, where's grandma? When's grandma coming over? When really she was like the gatekeeper to the crack. You know, grandma came over. I know there's something in that purse. You know, there's something in that purse for me, and I think it's got sugar in it. And so it's become like a leverage tool for parents. And he was saying that he's the bad cop because the mom is always giving the kid the crack and he's taking the crack away. I do that too. Like I'm kind of like the bad cop too. So it's like, it's an easy lever to get seduced by and then use as a power tool for the kids, right? Especially if the relationship is going awry, you have this leverage that you can use to get on the good side of the kid, so to speak, if that makes any sense. So he's having difficulty with that. And I told him this, it just gets worse. It just gets worse because for every little inch you give of a screen, you lose it. And to take it back is heartache. It's just like, you know, it's like giving someone a little bit of heroin and then we're going to dial you back a bit today. We're not going to give you as much heroin. They Jones for it. But the good news is if you can just get them into like a complete wash of it, it's kind of gone in a day. They get over it pretty quick until they see it. And so what happens is that they'll go to their friends to play. It's just like, you know, in 10 years with booze and, maybe weed or who knows, whatever teenagers evolve into, if they can't get it at home, or if it's a no-no at home, well, they just go to this place and they get it from there. And that's how it happens. That's where they get, where's the Bitcoin price? 105. Yeah. Everybody's buying. Price is going down. Now, what I don't like about that, let's just put aside what it may be, with the reasons for. Okay, let's just talk about what I don't like about that. It stands to reason that if retail were to get in now, which they aren't, but if they were, and they would see headline after headline of Treasury company buying this company getting in, then buying 1,000 Bitcoins, whatever it may be, and the price goes down, well, they're going to, right off the bat, get a bad taste in their mouth as far as how the market works, right? So if we go down why, let's do some simple whys. They're not attractive, they're not sexy, and no one likes to hear them. But some simple whys is obviously that it's just over the counter, right? They have white glove concierge service at Coinbase where they can broker deals for larger amount, and or, with Michael Saylor and his AI bots, buying up sell orders like little Pac-Man, Bitcoin as it comes up, not to disturb the market. There's that. But then you have to ask yourself, well, what kind of market is this? Is this the market that's always existed? Like, could the big monsters always do this? And probably the answer is obviously yes. Big monsters can usually do whatever they want. But it stands to reason that the little guy will not like to be in a market where whales can do whatever they want and then dump on the normal, retail noob. So if we were just talking about bullishness, I don't think I've ever seen the market so bullish. Even in 2021 peak mania, there wasn't as much bullish fundamentals as there are right now. Like if you think about this, maybe one of the biggest bullish fundamentals that occurred in 2021 was when Tesla buys Bitcoin. And I think it went up. Now, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but it was like 38K and it went to 50K or something like that. So like that's a 30% bump. It's quite large. I mean, think about a 30% bump now. It would be at 130. We'd go to 133 or 4. That's a big bump. That was just Tesla buying. That's how fragile the market still was when it came to bullish fundamentals. Now we have magnitudes higher of bullish fundamentals. Just the concept alone of the American government even talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve is magnitudes higher than Tesla buying. I don't know. What would you put it at? A 10x above how important that is compared to Tesla buying back in 2021? And then, of course, Tesla sold and it came down. We saw that big drop. That's how much, normal market behavior affected the market. So now we have not only the Bitcoin strategy. One thing I have noticed is that we don't hear as much hype about the states buying, not the states, but like the independent states, each state having their own Bitcoin asset. It seems to have fallen by the wayside. And then it's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit where you see these posts. Arkansas Senate just passes a Bitcoin bill. And you're like, oh, great. ... Now it moves on to the House. You're like, oh, okay. And then a couple days later, Arkansas House passes Bitcoin bill. Oh, great. ... Now it moves back to the Senate floor for reconfiguration. Oh, okay. Well, that's still good, I guess. Then a couple days later, Arkansas passes Bitcoin strategic reserve bill. ... And you're like, on what? Did it pass or? And now it moves on to the government to sign or to deny. So it's like this Hansel and Gretel, circle jerk about what's going on with the Bitcoin reserves with these states. I know some have had some, but you don't really like. So a state. Well, what's the state that did it? Has there been one? Is it Texas that's about to do? No, Texas. It's moved on. It just keeps. I know there's one. I can't remember. But the fact that I don't know which one. Now, Florida got denied, Bruce. I believe. Now I could be wrong, but I think it got denied. Let's just say Arizona, e-money. Let's just say Arizona. Now, that is magnitudes higher than Tesla buying in 2021. If it's not a 10x, let's call it a 5x. It's definitely magnitudes, fundamentally speaking, higher than Tesla buying in 2021. Yet, price goes down. And it's giving me, and I'll get over it, but when in my darker moments, it's giving me how I felt when I was on Team Gold and Silver. That's funny. Free and Fighting just put Florida passed gold and silver as legal tender. Did they? I haven't seen that either. Chris Forte was a little northeastern state. New Hampshire, Bobby Newell. Okay. All right. Well, still, even a small northeastern state is magnitudes higher than, fundamentally speaking, than Tesla buying in 2021. But what this market is giving me or making me feel or PTSD memories of is when I was on Team Gold Silver way back. We were fighting the good fight, and our enemy was paper gold and paper silver. And no matter what happened, no matter what bullish fundamentals for the price of gold or silver, it always just got whack-a-mole down with the paper gold and silver, to the point where I was like, as much as I'm a big believer in hard assets, how hard is it if there's paper, gold, and silver? Like, what are we really dealing with? Are we on the wrong side of the trade? Just holding? I'm holding my gold. I'm holding my silver. It's going up. Bang. Whack-a-mole. I'm still holding my gold, holding my silver. Oh, it's going up again. Boom. Whack-a-mole down. Right? It's like, and then eventually you're on the right side of the trade when the evildoers start buying it, the central banks, for what reason? Who knows? But then all of a sudden, after 25 years of being whacked in the head by paper gold and silver, you're kind of on the right side of the trade. But the cost-benefit analysis of holding that long on an asset, meanwhile, you got Bitcoin going 70% CAGRs and AI going 30 to 50% CAGRs. It's a losing trade, no matter how much you go up to it. So it's given me, though, that taste in my mouth, and I'll get over it and I'll rationalize it out of my mind at some point. But it just feels a little more like that when you see. It's like when I see headline. I don't know about you, but when I see headlines, on my Plato's wall, my who was saying, I can't remember who was saying, they thought that I was, because they listen, they're not watching. Not that they would get it if I was watching, but they kept on thinking that I was saying Play-Doh, as in like Play-Doh, like that little kids make, Plato's wall. And they're like, wonder what he means by that. Plato's wall. I wonder if it's a Canadian thing. Plato. It's kind of like lazy English. Plato's wall. Plato's wall. Anyway, on my Plato's wall, when I see breaking so-and-so buying 1,000 Bitcoins, it almost pisses me off. I don't know about you, but I'm getting that, I don't know, that attitude problem when I even see fundamental bullishness. I'm like, let me guess, the price is going to go down. Every time I see it, the first thing I think is the price will go down. That's a bad attitude, right? But that's where I feel I am in the market when it comes to how it's reacting. Now, there's nothing we can do about it. We just do what we do best. We just sit here and we hold it and we hold it and we hold it, right? And eventually we are on the right side of the trade. We're on the right side of the trade now. But for a lot of us, here's where I got some even kind of worse news coming up. It's not worse news because everything goes up. But what I'm kind of looking at in the meantime, this is some, right? There are things that aren't going to happen in the next couple months. Maybe, who knows? I mean, if everything goes ballistic through the summer, great. Has it ever? No, not really. So generally too, like as far as Wall Street's concerned, not that we really need to depend on Wall Street. Bitcoin is 24/7. It's going to do what it does no matter who's in the Hamptons or not. 4-hour chart yesterday. Look at the respect. Sometimes I feel like, is TradingView just following my lines, like, and then nobody else's? Like if you have TradingView, it'll show your lines. It'll respect your lines. But I mean, like the respect of the wick just hitting this channel of ascensions, support now acting as resistance, and then getting denied. Obviously, you get denied from each support and resistance. You go test the next one. It's almost like a Pong. Bing, boom, boom. It's just what the market does while it's sleepwalking. We're sleepwalking right now, doing nothing, just kind of going in between massive fundamental announcements. We're just sleepwalking. And so we go back down and we test our channel of eternal monotony, broke through a couple of wicks up, and now we're down. Not only are we down past the channel of eternal monotony's resistance, we are underneath the 20 moving average, which is kind of a nice place to be if you're anticipating a pump, because this is where we mean revert. The mean reversion is going back to the 20 moving average, doing a little bit of consolidaciones, maybe continued downside action, but here's the continued downside action. Now, some plausible downside action would be to retest the 200 moving average at 103. Can't always do it. We got pretty close to it here. We didn't actually touch it. I almost think that we got to touch it. You got to touch that stove, the 200 moving. Oh, it's hot. Let's get back up. I think that's what holding that would be paramount. We really don't want to go below the 200 moving average, obviously. What are some other resistance underneath? 102, 103, 101.8. 101.8. Let's just put them in the ether. 101.8. 102, let's call it 103, and then the 200 moving average at 103.9, let's call it 104-ish. We might candle close 104, throw a little long here, don't care, wick underneath. Who cares? And we're off to the races on the daily chart. Rejection, Onez from the 20 moving average. Obviously, we got to be above the 20 moving average if we're going to make any gains in this daily chart. Now, it would make sense to retest. Look at this nice little confluence here with the channel of eternal monotony and the channel of ascensions. Support at 104. What was 104 here? Was that the 200 moving average? Yeah. So the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart is the same as this confluential aspect here where we should test and maybe rebounce. Rebounce? Yeah, yes, because we have bounced off it. Now, you know what they say. The more you knock on something, the more you tap on that glass, you break through. Now, we don't want to do that. Breaking through there, some super downward motion would be 99.8. with this 50 moving average. But I bet you by the time we do that, we would probably be around 101.2 on the weekly. We are playing Pong with this channel. What's this going on? We are playing Pong with this channel of Ascensions, support and resistance. Ping. Now it would make sense to go Pong. Now remember that chart that I was saying, everybody look at this. This is the metric, right? It has changed. Obviously, we've hit a new all-time high. So we have run the numbers on this, and we have run the Fibonacci. Now this is the bad news I was talking about, because that's bad news, good news actually, because we either make continuous higher highs, and this number is always changing. But in order for this number to come back into the fold, so for instance, when it was, the reason we had it was up here a little bit, I think where this 20 moving average was, is because we had a massive retracement from an all-time high. Now, we haven't had that. We haven't had, a 15, 20, what was this massive retracement? It was 31%. Yeah, so why I'm getting at this is that generally at the top, we have a 30% retracement, sometimes 50, and then we try to make another higher high, and we get tapped out at the 38.2% fib. This is what happens every top. Now, I have my light on, that's why it's weird. So in order for this to play out, we would have to have a min 30% retracement. So where would a 30% retracement from 112 be? Let's call it 77. So that's some bad news. If we have a 30% retracement, takes us back to 77, and then all of a sudden this is back in play. But here's the good news. This actually becomes our support that we probably won't break. If we see continued downside action in the summer bomber, because really we'll be sleepwalking through the next couple months, nothing really happens. So we'll be sleepwalking. There's a chance where we just may see, because this is a big, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row. It's safe to say that we could see some definite retracement from 7 candles in a row. That's pretty historic pump, even though it was really about 30%, wasn't it? Yeah. Did I get that right? 30% back up. Still 30% from here is 130. So it's might not be something, but you sure ain't nothing. You can see the 20 moving average would probably take us to the 23.6, which would be 100K. Now, saving some massive market fund dementia, we would probably sleepwalk and Pong down to this support just because the market's doing anything. Now, what massive market fund dementia would move the price? I don't know, because nothing seems to do it. Maybe something that happens fundamentally lights an ass under whatever FOMO retail or institution there is. Maybe at the same time, there could be some bearish fundamentals that come and push the price down into the summer bomber, because really there's no bullish, there's no bull buying pressure, so to speak, enough to fight some substantial bearish FUD. Because you know what I mean, all the bullishness in the world doesn't move the price, but a little bit of bearishness, tanks it. So we're really looking at that as the next 3 months, in my opinion, fighting the FUD that's going to come out. And the thing about FUD during a sideways crab summer bomber is that it starts to compound. You know what I mean? Like everything starts to get worse and worse. And then we start getting the doomsday effect coming, where everyone's like, this is it, which is really, it should get you excited when you see bearish FUD compounding, as irrational as bullish FUD when it compounds. My argument now is that bullish fundamentals don't really compound. They kind of do nothing. But that's because we're operating on an OTC AI quant bot buying pressure. So it's not really a bullish market the way it was in 2021. Green dots. Do I have green dots lined up? I don't know. Maybe I do. It's such a, the crypto album I've been recording, it's been on hold because I haven't been able to sing or rehearse. So it's depressing. What do I do all day, right? I'm going to put green dots on it, going to remaster it. And I'll also put the Jeb video on, remaster it. Maybe beef it up a little more, put a little more beat. It'll be pretty epic. But no matter what song I write, Lamborghini, foam at the top, I don't know if anything will hold a candle to green dots. CZ, Elon Musk, Kevin Tyler, Winklevoss, Michael Saylor, Kathy Woods, Brian Armstrong. We found on Mashinsky lied, Chucky Munger finally died. Everybody stacking sats, laser eyes and diamond hands. Rome Powell, Justin Sun, Pitboys, Lamborghini's gone. Coinbase, Uniswap, Andreas, Antonopoulos, Chamath, Pala, Halpatia, Central Banks and Dirty Fiat, BlackRock, ETF, SBF didn't kill himself. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. We didn't start the fire, though we didn't light it. We tried to fight it. Ethereum, Solana, Bonk, Pepper, Ada, Polkadot, Anatoly Yakovenko, Sergey Nazarov, Polygon, Filecoin, Ziba, Ibu, Dogecoin, XRP, BNB, Tether, and USDC. Ran from Crypto Banter, James from Advanced Answers, Altcoin, Daily Twins, Love Vitalik, Buterin, BlockFi, Voyager, Celsius, and FTX, Dirty Gary Gensler. I can't take it anymore. Ben, I was wondering if you had, any thoughts on green dots.
You know what we do here? We win all the time. Fired up. Somebody said relying on green dots. Come on, man. If you don't think these green dots work, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You are an absolute idiot. Fired up. You are a loser. You continue to lose. Yeah, let's check that out, guys. Let's check that out. That's kind of the definition of what happens to people in life who we call losers. They always feel like the one time that they try the thing, it doesn't work. The one time they try it, the one time they try it, the one time they try it doesn't work. You lost money on one trade. You look so small at the micro moments in life. And you take experience from that and you cast it across an entire range of time or experience. That's why you're losers. That's why you're losers. That's why you're losers. That's the kind of person who will never be successful in life, will never be successful in anything. Because you're too narrow-minded and short-sighted and idiotic to see what's right in front of you. Because you're too narrow-minded and short-sighted and idiotic to see what's right in front of you. Yeah, they don't work. Let's go back. Let's look at the chart here. Get out of here, Gizmo. Yeah, I hate Gizmo. I love Gizmo. He's so dang cute. I want a Mogwai. Let's go look. Let's see if they play out. Let's look at these patterns and let's see if they played out. This December of 2019, aka the entire bull run. I know y'all like when I do that. Bull run. Boom. Bull run. Boom. I can't even call you what I want to call you because it's not politically correcting. Do you know what we do here? We win all the time. Do you know what we do here? We win all the time. 184% gain. Oh, just a 64% gain over 2.5 months. Idiot. 2.5 months. Boom. 548% gain. Why don't we go to the next one? Why don't we go check out the next one? Let's go. Let's go. Here it is, right here on the chart. You guys see it. Next one. Yeah, come on, man. Come on, rely on the green dots, you idiot. Let's check out the next one. Here we go. Boom. Next one. Only 128% gain. Only 120% gain. This is why you're a loser. This is why you continue to lose. This is why you don't make money in crypto. This is why you come in for 3 months and then you disappear like the vermin that you are and you don't come back in. And you don't come back in. And you don't come back in. so idiotic that you can't look at a chart over a 2.5 year period of time and see how much it works. I get so tired of people coming to this chat and say stupid crap like that. Your parents are disappointed in you, sir. Because you haven't done anything with your life. Boom. That's all I got. Good way.
Yo, Jim, where you at? Yo, Jeb, I said, where you at?
I took a minute now, I'm at the better end of all of it. The day I want to quit will be a bitter one to swallow, cause I'm in it when I said I wasn't really into audibles. I guess you gotta call them when you're ugly with the bottom, and it's stacking up against you with a pity, but they gotta give a nod to me. I'm running with the best, and they kinda make a profit off of everything you told me wasn't possible. So why would you continue with the narrative and not admit I'm something incredible? Look of a general, hit him with the end of a shovel. They wanna forget it, I put him on the ground and I get up and open up the pit of my stomach to remind I am insane. I am insane. I am insane. I am insane. Took a minute now, I'm at the better end of all of it. The day I want to quit will be a bitter one to swallow, cause I'm in it when I said I wasn't really into audibles. I guess you gotta call them when you're ugly with the bottom, and it's stacking up against you with a pity, but they gotta give a nod to me. I'm running with the best, and they kinda make a profit off of everything you told me wasn't possible. So why would you continue with the narrative and not admit I'm something incredible? Look of a general, hit him with the end of a shovel. They wanna forget it, I put him on the ground and I get up and open up the pit of my stomach to remind I am insane. I am insane. I am insane. I am insane.
I fell more than at the top, couldn't stop myself. I fell more than at the top, now I'm down low. I should have held court till resistance became support. I should have held court till resistance became support. Everybody jumping off a bridge, all my friends were doing drugs. Everybody's cracking beers, who the heck am I to judge? I feel most I shouldn't care, but influences everywhere telling me I'm missing out. Drinking on their offer boats, I couldn't take it. I fall more than at the top, couldn't stop myself. I fall more than at the top, now I'm down a lot. Hey, Scaramucci's the cat. I should have held court till resistance became support. I should have held court till resistance became support. Now I'm beating myself up again, lamenting on the sheep I met, and take away the part I piss, and I know I still wouldn't listen. Any of you what they wanna ape, and well, just let me one. Don't give yourself a heart attack, wait for the price to pull back. Don't fall more in at the top, couldn't stop myself. Not fall more than at the top, now I'm down a lot. I should have held court till resistance became support. I should have held court till resistance became support. Don't fall more in at the top, couldn't stop myself. I fall more in at the top, now I'm down a lot. Yeah, I should have held court till resistance became support. I should have held court till resistance became support.
Inflation, it doesn't exist. Inflation, it's just a myth. But if it does exist, well, for sure we don't have anything to do with it. Oh, everything is good, everything is cool. We make millions of dollars, and so can you. Just grab a seat in the Senate, watch the the cash roll in. We only make $200K a year, but the three of ours combined net worth is well over $150 million. Isn't that amazing? In the depths of the crypto bear market, anything can and will happen.
I've never seen anything like it.
Is the craziest I think I've ever seen.
Academy Award winner Zach Galifianakis says BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong.
The psyop they tried to create in my brain, and you hear the struggle of, I haven't done anything.
Golden Globe nominee Shia LaBeouf as TJ Shed.
We had a great dynamic and a lot of fun over the years. This hurts all of us.
We broke the entire internet.
This has always been my company.
Also starring Benicio del Toro.
Remember me?
As Nicky Diamonds DeMonte. Nicolas Cage as Deezy. And Paul Giamatti as TJ's dad. Also some black guy that we've never really heard of.
Give me everything you got! Pound, 10p, 5p, and even the brown pen exact to me!
Based on the best-selling novel by John Grisham. Cold-blooded crypto.
You know, there's too many lines that have been crossed. You and I have to go our separate ways.
I haven't the Murgatroyd, Nick.